There's a common conundrum that everyone will face in Fire Emblem 3 houses. You found a house you want to join, but there's a character from another house that you really want on your team too. Luckily, there's a way to remedy this situation, as most students you encounter can be recruited to your team, but only if you know how to impress them. We've got some important tips for how to recruit characters in Fire Emblem 3 houses. Before we get into things, it's important to remember that while it may sound like fun to try and recruit as many characters as you can into your house, it may not be the best idea. Sure, there doesn't seem to be a limit, but there is a limit to how many units you can deploy in a mission, which generally ranges from 9 to 12 over the course of the story. Be sure to keep this in mind as we move forward. Once you complete the first few chapters and start getting a feel for life at the monastery, you'll find that you have the option to recruit students to your side when talking to them. Of course, they won't really show interest until you have enough of a certain skill or stat. Each student has different interests, but regardless of which, you shouldn't expect to recruit them right away. We've found that most students prefer you to have at least a C+ rank in the skill they like, anywhere from 15 to 20 points in the specified stat, but there are a lot of hidden variables to take into account. Some students may even request a skill as high as a B or a B+, which appears to be tied to skills that your character already has an affinity for, like swords or authority. Of course, depending on which house you're in, some characters will be unattainable, like the house leaders and their bodyguards, and Hilda won't join the Black Eagles. So what's the best way to impress the students you're looking to poach? Your character doesn't get to raise her own skill levels as much as your students, as you'll be the one teaching. Getting skill experience in battle is fairly limited, but you still need to level up in battle to start getting better stats. In order to get more levels and skills quickly, you'll want to invest in faculty training when exploring the monastery. Characters like Manuela, Sedith, Ria, and even Gerald can all train you in various skills, but each will take up one activity point during exploration, and each faculty member can only teach you once per free day. This means you'll have to carefully choose which skills to invest in, as you won't have enough time to increase them all, and you also don't want to make your character a jack of all trades who excels in nothing. When picking students to recruit, try for what makes sense. Many students are impressed by skills that they themselves are proficient in, like Felix and swords. Think hard about what your team is lacking, and if it's worth sidetracking your own skills to get someone to fill that slot, or if you can impress certain characters naturally with your own planned goals. However, not all characters necessarily want you to have the skills that mirror their own, which can work to your advantage. Both Dorothea and Ignatz, who can fill mage and archer roles, admire authority, which your character will learn naturally. Skill level isn't the only determining factor though, as your bonds can also play a huge role in tipping the scales. There's a delicate balance of skill, stats, and bonds that can influence each student, which can let you pick up the slack if a certain area is lacking. Try finding their lost items, giving gifts they especially like, and having food or tea with them to quickly increase your bonds. Sometimes, just one extra gift can make all the difference in recruiting a character, while other times, you may have to attain a certain support rank to lower their threshold or make up for the shortcomings in your own skills and stats. We were able to recruit Hilda with only a D in Axes, but it also meant getting her support rank up to a B first. On the other hand, Lysithea and Annette wandered around a B in Faith, but getting a C support rank with them dropped that requirement down to a C+ in Faith. If you've met the requirements or have a B support, characters may even show up during the school week to ask to join you. Interestingly enough, Sylvain the Blue Lions behaves a bit differently from all the others. While he normally wants you to have a high skill and reason, he's got a one-track mind when it comes to the ladies, which means he'll automatically ask to join your house when you try to recruit him, but only if you're playing as a female character. I wonder why. Lastly, it's important to note that over the course of the story, you'll also have the chance to ask the faculty and certain knights of the monastery to join your team as well. These characters don't care about certain skills, they'll just want you to usually be around level 15 or higher when they start becoming available to recruit, mostly after chapter 6 and 7. Keep this in mind when trying to figure out what your total roster is going to look like down the road. Be sure to recruit everyone you need by the end of part 1, as you won't have any opportunities by the time part 2 starts, unless they're central to the story of that path. And that's the biggest tips you need to know. For more information on which requirements each student has, the best gifts to give them, and much more, check out our wiki guide. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
I just want to go wild and let it all out. Come on, Professor, send me out front in our next battle.